All right, hi everybody, this is Coach Steve, and today we're going to do a 9 exercise 3-round routine. The things that you may need are a mat, the proper glasses that you can see, and if you'd like to have some water, which is always a great idea, go ahead and grab that and have that ready to go. We're going to do a quick little warm up here and get right into it today. So go ahead and swing from side to side. Engage those ankles, loosen those ankles a little bit, get those shoulders rotating, get the torso warmed up. If you're doing your exercise towards the end of October, as it is today, might be a little chilly. All right, let's go into a half squat to a reach. Again, we're warming up our lower body and getting our shoulders activated, getting our core lengthened out. Don't forget to breathe. Get yourself in the right mindset. Give yourself some gratitude and chalk it up as a win that you're here today, getting ready to do exercise. All right, let's do a side lunge. Job, keep it nice and smooth. Just go as deep as your body will let you. Don't force it, we're just warming up. All right, let's put our hands together. Get your legs a little wider than hip distance. Bring it up to the side, chop it down towards your knee. Get the wrist, elbows, shoulders activated. Forget to smile. Let's go ahead and switch directions. Keep it nice and smooth. All right. Got a little warm up in. Our first exercise today is going to be a bear crawl. So we are going to get our hands completely underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips, turn those toes under, lift those knees off the ground, and we're moving opposite, nice and slow. So left hand, right leg, right hand, left leg. And go ahead and travel as far as you can. If you prefer to do static bear, you can do that too. Let's get into that nice position. Make sure those hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, knees slightly elevated. Hold that position. If you do a static bear, it's a good chance you'll start to notice a little shake as you continue on. It's because your body's not used to being in that position. This is great for doing those ground to stand exercises and being ready for whatever life throws at you. All right, and rest. All right, we're rolling over to our back next. Put your hands underneath your tailbone. All right, tip that lower back into the ground to give it some extra stability. And we're doing frog kicks. So extend the legs and frog kick it back. So this is one way you can do it. Or extend the legs and then or frog kick it out and then bring it back in. So either way works. My hips are a little snappy when I go one way, so I usually do it the other way. So figure out which way works best for you. This is a core exercise. Also working the hip flexors. You can keep your head up or down, either way. You get a little more core engagement if your head is up. There's Cooper's hawk flying overhead, that's cool. And rest. Gotta love that, right? All right. So next we're gonna do split squats. So it's gonna look like a lunge, but we're gonna keep our feet planted. So go ahead and stagger your stance. Okay. Then you're gonna go into what would look like a lunge, but since we're having both feet planted, this is called a split squat. So the difference between a squat and a lunge. Lunge has a little movement involved in the feet. Squat, we're keeping those legs planted, or feet planted. All right, go as low as you can, that your flexibility will allow you. Let's go ahead and switch. Whoop. Switch legs, switch the front leg. Woo. This really works your balance too. As we get older, we need to continue to work on that balance. And rest. All right, we're on the ground next. So we're gonna do alternate jackknife crunches. So arms over your head, legs straight out, right hand up, left leg up, and switch. Bring it up. Feel that rotation on your core a little bit. Really activating the core to do this exercise. Don't forget to breathe. You can go as fast or as slow as you like. If it's a little too challenging to bring your hand up, just bring your leg up. All right, everybody's at a different fitness level, so go where you need to go to make this happen for you today. 20 seconds. And rest, and we're up. This is a very core-centered routine today. So, for our next exercise, usually the fifth exercise, we do a fight move. So, let's bring our fist up in front of us, get a little bouncy in our legs. So we're gonna dodge a punch, and then throw two. Dodge a punch, throw two. All right, good snappy movements with your fist. All right, 25 seconds. Don't forget to breathe. Keep it nice and smooth. Don't forget to start your watch if you haven't. Sorry, I forgot about that. Whoop, whoop. It didn't happen if it doesn't get recorded. All right. All right, we're gonna go down and lay on our side next. You can prop your head up or not. Bend the lower leg and keep the top leg straight. And we're bringing that leg up and bringing it down. Bring it up, bring it down. Really working the outside, working our IT band, our TFL. If you need a little bit more, go ahead and put your own pressure on it. So push down on your leg as your leg comes up, and then push down on your leg as your leg goes down, and resist that force as you go up and down. And that'll really work those small little muscles that make this particular exercise happen. All right, we're gonna stay on the same side this time, and we'll catch up on the other side in the next round. If you're only gonna do one round, you can go ahead and switch halfway. Right, here we go, 10 seconds. Whew, my leg's getting fatigued. All right, and rest. All right, next we're gonna do offset push-ups. So you can do these offset push-ups off a wall, off your knees, off a bench, or standard push-ups. So what we're talking about for this one, since I'm gonna be talking and doing this at the same time, you stagger your hands, do a push-up, stagger your hands, do a push-up. What this allows your body to do is changes the force on those chest muscles. So it engages those chest muscles in a little different angle than when you do regular old push-ups. All right, 20 seconds. Whew, that's a tough one. All right, we're gonna lay on the ground for the next one. All right, we're gonna take a rest for this next minute. And just kidding. All right, we're gonna do Superperson. So what you need to try to do, lift your chest and your thighs off the ground at the same time. So you're balancing on your hips, really working the lower back. If you're having trouble with lifting both at the same time, you can just lift the front. Lifting the legs is a little more difficult. I must not smell too good. Turkey vultures are circling. All right. All right, our last exercise is going to be a training burpee. So if you're familiar with burpees, you just do your own type of burpees, but for a training burpee, we're going to get down into plank position, bring it back in, and stand it up. All right, that's a training burpee. So go ahead and do training burpees if that's where you are. You can even do training burpees off of a chair by just going down in that plank position on a chair and standing back up. If you want to jump in and out or up and down, that's totally up to you. You do you for your burpees, but that's what a training burpee is. I'm just going to do training burpees for this rest of this round, just so you get used to what that training burpee looks like. Almost did a real burpee there. Can't help myself. This still lets you practice that ground to stand movements. And rest. 1 minute rest in between rounds, a good time to get a drink, work on your breathing. Just relax a minute. I know some people that come like to keep moving, so if you want to maintain that motion, go ahead and do that. No problem. This is your routine, so do with it as you need to make it work for you. All right. It's also hard to talk the whole time that you do an exercise routine. Just thought I'd throw that in there. All right, 20 seconds, we're gonna go back to bear crawl. All right, get in that tabletop position. Lift those knees up, knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. I'm gonna do a static bear crawl again, but if you have room, wherever you're at, go ahead and do a bear crawl back and forth. Let's say you're not able to do a bear crawl, do a baby crawl. You know, sometimes that's just as useful when you are in your house and you're trying to get around, or you happen to be on the floor and you need to crawl over to something to help you get up. These are functional activities or exercises that we can do in case something happens. Get that muscle memory going. You know, eventually we're going to be older and it's just inevitable. Never know where you're going to be. So it's good to practice these while you are still agile and able to do those. All right, let's go ahead and flip over. We're going to do frog crunches next. Whoop. Hands underneath the tailbone to rotate that back into the ground. For me, I go out first and frog kick it back. So if you're familiar with the breaststroke, if you're a swimmer, it's just kind of that motion that we're doing. Although we go opposite of the way that I'm going. But you can go either way, doesn't matter. The point is we're working our core, working those hip flexors, keeping that lower back driven into the mat for stability. I've come across a lot of people that have lower back pain, so this is a really good, safe core exercise to do if you can keep that back drilled into the ground, especially with your hands underneath your tailbones to tip that back into the ground. And rest. All right. We're back up for some split squats. I'm going to go the opposite direction. Same leg though. So get into that half lunge position and we're doing a split squat. If you even want to make this harder, you can put your foot up on a chair and do a split squat that way. It's way more challenging, really works your balance a lot more. If you can't get all the way to the ground like I'm doing, that's fine, get as low as you can. You can't get down to the ground from a standing position if you never try it. So it's important to start engaging those muscles. Go ahead and switch legs. You can go as fast or as slow as you want to. Not warming up as usual. And rest. Nice, back down on the ground. We got jackknife crunches next. Hands over your head, legs straight out, right hand to left foot. Ready and go. If you notice your lower back is not on the ground when you have your arms up over your head, but as you come up, that lower back gets driven into the ground, so you have that support when your back might be at its most compromised. "20 seconds. All right, great job. Let's get back up for a fight move. All right, from this position, go ahead and bounce those knees a little bit, get the fists up, and then we're doing a dodge. We're doing a dodge. 2 punches, dodge, 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 dodge. Whew. So we're really working the core and we're working our shoulders for this one. Lots of core exercises today. And rest. All right. So remember from the first round, we did this leg raise. So we want to make sure that we go on the other side to make sure that we're balanced. Again, you can add resistance with your hands. Ready and go. Again, the harder you push, the more that muscle is going to have to work. This is a tough one. If you're not used to doing an exercise like this, you might feel a little soreness, right around the hip in the next day or so. This is not a typical exercise that we usually do. 10 seconds. Our last round will split 30 and 30. All right. Offset push-ups are next. So again, do whatever level push-up you need. Keep those hands offset just a little bit so you hit your chest in a little different angle. Ready and go. Halfway. Woo! There's a cold breeze. Whoa, leaves are flying. And rest. Whew. All right. So next we're doing Superperson. So go ahead and lay on your belly, lifting our torso and our thighs up at the same time. Ready and go. Try to bring it down nice and slow. That'll give you more time under tension to work your core. This is a great lower back exercise to really strengthen that lower back. All right, 5 seconds. All right, here we go. Last exercise. Everyone's favorite, the burpee. So remember, we're doing training burpees here. Training burpees, you go down into a plank and then stand it back up. Ready, and go. All right, 30 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. And for a burpee or two left. And rest. Whew. All right, time to get that heart rate down a little bit. Grab yourself a drink, take a little rest, slap a smile on your face, 2/3 of the way finished. 1 round to go. And remember, if you have time for 2 rounds, then do 2 rounds. If you have time for 1 round, that's fine too. We're all about getting some movement in. The challenge always is take 1 of these, 2 of these exercises, incorporate those into your day so your body gets used to you being an active person. All right. Bear crawl's coming up in 15 seconds. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, turn in the toes. Ready, and go. If you're doing static bear crawl, go to your happy place. If you're doing a moving bear crawl, keep focused on that right hand, left leg forward, and then opposite. 20 seconds to go. You got this. Whoop, whoop. And rest. All right. Frog crunches are next. Flip it over, hands underneath your tailbone, tilt that back into the ground, and go. Frog kicks. Either frog kick forward or frog kick backwards. The lower you go, the harder it is. Ten seconds. All right, we're doing split squats next. All right, staggered stance. And go. Keep those feet planted. Just go as deep as you can. If it's here, great. If it's all the way to the ground, great. If it's fast, great. And switch. There we go. All right, we're back on the ground for some jackknife crunches. Arms up, legs out, right hand, left foot, go. And switch. Again, go as fast or as slow as you need to go. You could further modify this too if you needed to. If you're unable to get on the ground, just doing elbow to knee, just like this from a standing position, would work very similar muscles, and it keeps you moving for this minute. "20 seconds. All right. All right, we are back up to a stand for our fight move. You got this, almost there. Halfway through the last round. Fists up, dodge it, dodge it, dodge it, dodge it. You got this. All right. All right. Deer are getting a little frisky back there. All right, so we're on our side again, and we're lifting that leg up. And actually, we're gonna modify this. We're gonna just do this for the whole minute on this side, then we'll flip it and do it on the other side. Just because this is not usually a muscle that we tend to work very often, so let's focus in on it a little bit this week. All right, 20 seconds. All right, so we're flipping over to the other side, just so we're nice and balanced. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna lay down for this one. Whoop. All right. Again, you can add a little bit of force by pushing on that leg as you go up and down. 30 seconds. And rest. All right, we're gonna stay on the ground for the next one. So we're gonna do our offset push-ups. Get a little upper body work in. So I'm gonna do knee push-ups. Stagger your hands. Stagger your hands. Even if you're doing wall push-ups, you can still stagger your hands on the wall so you hit your chest on a little bit different angle if that's where you're at. All right, here we go. Training burpees last. Whoop. Blue Jays are coming in. All right, here we go. Training burpee, plank to stand. If you want to do any other parts of the burpee, you can go ahead and do it. Ready and go. All right, 20 seconds. All right, that's it. We did it. Put a smile on your face. You got accomplished this for today. That is super awesome. Grab a drink if you need to. We're gonna do a little bit of stretching here. So go ahead and get your legs a little further in hip distance. Let's interlock your fingers. Stretch them straight up. Stretch through your hips, through your torso, through your arms. Push through your wrists. Take a couple really deep breaths. All right, let's bring it over to the side. Just go where your body takes you. Stretching out a little bit. Push out through your hip. Really stretch out that opposite side. Bring it back up. Let's go down the other side. All right, hands on the hips. Let's roll out the hips. For this one, we want to go super slow, really concentrate on stretching those leg muscles as you go around. All right, rotate it the other way. All right, let's bring it up. Let's roll out our shoulders. Again, concentrate on really spreading the chest when your shoulders are back. Expand the back when your shoulders are forward. All right, let's roll out the wrists. We did a lot of ground stuff with the push-ups and the burpees, so loosening up those wrists are really good. All right, let's tilt our head over to the side, drop it forward, bring it over to the other side, and stop and roll it forward. Get a good stretch on the back of your neck. All right, awesome job, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. This is Coach Steve, and you can hit the button down at the bottom so you can get this content as soon as it is published on YouTube and Burn Along, and I will see you soon. Thanks for coming.